Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Geekcaster. We have Drew, got Dayveonne, and I'm Seven, and you're watching Geekcaster, everything sci-fi, fantasy, geek culture, and pop culture commentary. There's a lot of movies coming out, and that are giving, putting out the posters, buzz. Some of them don't even have trailers out yet. And I'm going to name a few things, and I want you guys to give a yay or nay. And then also, Drew, you said you just watched an anime recently?
It's an animated show. It's kind of in like the American anime style.
Okay.
It looks like it's the same art styles like Young Justice and stuff like that. It's called Vox Machina.
Okay.
This was its third season. I binged it. It was like 6 episodes. It's an Amazon Prime show. I binged it last night, all 6 episodes. And it was good. I would say that out of all the seasons, in my opinion, this was the weakest. But I get that the first 2 seasons had a lot of like structure and setup stuff that's now kind of flowing over into the other seasons.
Okay.
I'm really trying to be careful not to spoil anything for folks.
Right.
But I would say that it's if you're a fan of fantasy, if you're a fan of like Dota, I don't even play Dota or really know that much, but it's like that fantasy kind of like sci-fi mixed with fantasy element.
Okay.
It's a good one. It's got humor in it. It's got, in my opinion, the parts where it falters, it has humor and it'll be funny, but it's a little too modern in places with their wordage. If it's supposed to be a land far, far away, and however many years ago, why are they using terms like, I don't know, what would be like, they use a lot of like modern terminologies that it kind of bugs me at times.
Trying to be hip, kind of.
It's like kind of hip. When you watch it, you'll hear it and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Right.
But it's a little modern in places where it shouldn't be, but it's still a fun watch, just the same. So, Vox Machina.
That's cool. And this is the third season.
This was its third season, yeah. And stuff that they introduced in seasons 1 and 2, they either pay it off or they give you further breadcrumbs of what'll be season 4, I'm assuming. So it's a fun time. It's good.
You know what? Speaking of properties, well, do you find like with the third season, it's still riding? It hasn't gotten to the point it got boring yet, or not?
No, it's not boring.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's boring. And again, it's not a bad season, but just for me, this season was a little weaker compared to 1 and 2. And I only say that I guess one of my main reasons is they do a lot of shipping in this season. Everyone gets paired off. And it bugs the crap out of me because when you do that, and I will say, to be fair at the show, they don't do it in a way where it's like sickening, like saccharine Twilight type writing. That bull crap. Some chick wrote this in her spare time as a fan fiction, wrapped all her shallow little wants in a man, and then made it Edward Cullen. Not that type of thing, right?
Shots fired.
Whatever, get over it. It's over with. Y'all, it's not my fault. Y'all have crap taste. But at any rate, they do pair people up, and it does. The show comes to a screeching halt when they have to have the whole playing out. Are we together? Are we not? Will they? Won't they? Crap.
Right.
Y'all know me. I hate that. But if stats are to prove anything, modern audiences nowadays also kind of don't like that crap.
Right.
It's funny because everyone used to get on me. You're a Grinch, Drew. You don't like romance. Most audience members, as it turns out, don't really like romance.
Yeah, they really don't.
That and sex scenes. We don't really need it. Just get on with the plot, please. Move on.
Right.
It's more people that watch this fight scene than it is sex scenes.
No.
Yeah. Well, depends on the sex. But yeah.
That's true, but
for the most part,
they had to choose, it would be either the gun wool, the fight scenes, depending on how good the fight scenes are, and the sex scenes, depending on who's the person that is getting pounded.
Yeah. I would say that it depends on which characters, and you can have them where they work. I'm not like being a total like pessimist about this.
It has to
there
work.
have been.
It has to
Yeah,
move. It has to be classic. It has to move the story along.
Exactly.
You know,
It's gotta be
many
organic.
series that because of the trying to put so much romance, I just unplugged. Like Arrow. It was just too much about the relationship.
So much, yeah. It's like, and I get it. It was a CW show. That's like 80% of what their shows are about.
Right.
But dude, The one that worked, I would have said if y'all were going to ship Oliver in that show with anyone, it would have been the ultimate waifu in the show. What's her face? The blonde chick.
The Black Canary?
No, not Black Canary. She was for everyone, apparently. Not even just the streets. She was for everybody. Oh my God, Felicity. There we go, Felicity. Who I love. She was a dope character. And when it came down to it, I'm like,
yeah.
She adds something to the team. She was cute. She played her position. She cared about Oliver, and Oliver cared about her. If you're going to do that,
right?
After his initial girlfriend died, all right, it's Felicity, and that should just been the constant. Having a different chick every season
was dumb.
Come on, CW, you're being yourself. Stop it.
Right.
You know.
Same thing with the Flash. It was too much. It was like, you know what? No. They were trying to ride on the success of Arrow with the love stuff. Because when they started, it wasn't doing that too much.
It wasn't doing it too much, but I would have to say it did kind of make sense because based on the comic book, Iris and Barry, it didn't focus on anybody else except for Iris and Barry, unless they had the sub-characters get involved when it comes to them and their other significant person that they fell in love with.
From what I recall, yeah, they either did a lot of relationship stuff around the supporting characters, or if they did have Barry like romantically interested in someone, it wasn't going to last because he's supposed to be with Iris. That's the thing. Right. So
they could have stretched that out. I mean, because even though that's part of the lore, there was so much that needed to happen before getting to that. It's kind of like Spider-Man. At some point, yes, he was going to, but we got a lot of villains to get through. We got a lot of action. There's so many things that need to happen before we get to that.
It's just about always tertiary to anything that matters in the entire plot.
Right.
The romance crap matters just about the absolute least in your plot. Call me pessimistic. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Right.
If you remove Scott and Jean's whole thing from X-Men, X-Men is still, I'd argue it's kind of better. Because Scott's not moping as much. Cyclops isn't moping around as much if you just nix the whole Jean and Scott thing entirely and just move on with the plot.
But you can't, because if you really when you play into it, it gets more in depth, but I'll discuss it behind the scenes because I don't want to get too much into that part. But
if you're talking about lore, I get it. But the thing is, it's like this. At the end of the day, they're superheroes and they're fighting villains and they're saving the day. That's why we watch the shows. It's not the love stuff. So you don't have to, it could be there without hitting us over the head and drawing it out.
To be fair, okay, now when Stan Lee and them were writing comics back in the day, they would say stuff like, it's all that what you just said, it's all what you just enumerated. It's action, it's superhero stuff, but the recipe was all that with a soap opera.
Yeah.
So I get it, that idea of humans needing to like pair off and mate and all that crap. But it's like, dude, if it's not going to be interesting, because it's all I guess also too the issue is it's formulaic now, beyond formulaic. That meet cute crap. It's actually, that's the term, a meet cute. When the characters meet off, and I guess sparks are supposed to fly, like they have a whole name for that dumbass trope. And it's like, dude, just make it organic, make it natural.
Or the
if
other
the characters
one,
can't
Drew.
meet up and be natural, then don't do it.
The other one. Oh, I can't stand you. You're annoying. Oh, you're annoying. Then all of a sudden, they fall in love. Oh.
Not liking each other and then gradually growing to like each other. There's more of an arc to that than just, his name was Edward. It was meant to be from the moment that I saw that he was 6'4". I'm like, okay, this is just crap. This is dreck. This is more dreck. It can be.
Let's go to Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. That is still happening for 2026.
Wait, I thought it was.
No, I think I don't know.
How are they doing this?
Unless they're casting another Kang, unless they're bringing back Jonathan. It's so many ways they could do this, but if they bring back Jonathan Majors,
so you think they're just going to go straight to Secret Wars and that's it?
I thought that was their move. I thought that the next thing was, hey, this lazy reveal that Robert Downey's coming back again for the Secret Wars thing is not Doctor Doom.
Well, he's definitely coming as Doctor Doom, but how are they going to title it? Do you know?
They said Doomsday.
I thought was it Doomsday? Okay. And was this Kang thing? Like, where'd you hear this from?
Yeah, that's the thing I'm confused.
There's just a rumor. I don't know if they're going to figure out a way to still do that or not. Or
We may want to double check that one
Yeah.
because last I checked, because of the whole Jonathan Majors thing, Kang was a dud anyway. They'd set up Kang, and he was just kind of dead on arrival.
right.
And it wasn't Jonathan Major's fault until the whole situation.
Man, that's I guess for another video. But no, after the whole thing popped off with him, the
Right.
Kang thing was nice, and they nixed it, and it's like, all right, guys, instead we're going to give you Robert Downey Jr. again, just playing a different character.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay. I
Okay,
haven't seen it in a while, but yeah.
So, sorry, fans. Yep, I see it here. Yeah, it's Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah. Correction.
My
See,
bad.
glad you got us, Seth, to make those catches because that didn't sound right.
Yeah.
I was like,
And then after that, allegedly, some other thing. But yeah, who we got? We got Haley Stanfield, Iman Vellani, Pedro Pascal, and Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. I've been out for a while, but if there's something that comes out and then the reviews say, "Oh my God, guys, we're back to form," I'll check it out on streaming or something.
Okay.
I'll take a look eventually at some point.
All right. What about Karate Kid 2025 with Ralph Macchio, Jackie Chan, Ben Wang, and Sadie Stanley?
Now, is this in connection to the show, or is this like a different thing?
I think this is not really connected to the show. It's just basically from the movie.
Okay, so the show is in its final season.
Yeah.
And they're spacing it out to, I think, like 3 parts between now and from now to like sometime in 2025. I think this is finally going to be an end. Okay. So if they're aiming it to try and like then transition where Ralph Macchio's little nook of Karate Kid mixes in with the Jackie Chan movies as well. I mean, they're really pulling the taffy on this Karate Kid stuff, man. I gotta say. Yeah. All they're missing after that is what's her name from the next Karate Kid?
No, that's Haley saying that's what.
That's not her, dude. Haley says. I'm thinking about the main character. What's her name?
Yeah,
$1 Million Baby.
Oh, right. Oh, wow.
Character in the Karate Kid. The girl that Mr. Miyagi trained.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I'll look at it now. The next Karate Kid. Her name is,
if I'm not mistaken,
Hilary Swank. There we go.
Hilary.
Yeah, Haley Stanfield's someone else, but Hilary Swank. That's the only person.
Wait, her?
Yeah,
they got her. Yeah. Unless she's gonna play her. Now that
she's missing, is what I'm saying. She's the only character that they haven't brought back.
Right, from all the different Karate Kid dynasties.
All the original Karate Kid movies. Yeah, right. She might be too expensive, but she can make a cameo. It's we got time. It can still be a thing.
And then make Jackie Chan. Make Jackie Chan, Ralph Macchio. What's that guy? Oh, I forgot the guy's name. The one
Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan and how if they were somehow able to get Jaden to come back for that role, that might be interesting. 2 different Karate Kids. Why was that? I still haven't watched that Jackie Chan one. But why it's called the Karate Kid when it's Kung Fu, I don't know. But hopefully they can finally have that conversation to where it's like, dude, they called it karate in ours, but it's actually Kung Fu. I don't know, mess that up, but it is what it is. So, could be interesting. Could be interesting.
Here, let's see. Yeah, and that's supposed to be dropping 2025. So maybe you're right. Maybe it will be. I hope it's a smooth transition because it's kind of weird to go from that series and then mix these characters together.
Make a whole other thing, essentially in a different.
And like to pretend like it didn't happen was like
in a different continuity.
Yeah. Well, one thing I do like how they did with the writing is the cameos for the Karate Kid series was interesting, bringing back some of the personalities in the Ralph Macchio lore of Karate Kid.
I'm pretty sure they brought back just about everyone. Again, it was just Hillary Swank and like maybe a couple people that were like extras or something. That's all they're missing. They went and full on with every bit of footage that they could take from the 80s movies, man. They made a whole series out of it. It's nuts.
So, are you guys going to see Mufasa?
No, I'm not. Y'all have fun though.
I don't know. I gotta see the trailer.
So allegedly, Mufasa was like a runt, and Scar convinced his parents to adopt him or something. And then, like,
even though
and
that whole thing,
it messes up the whole essence of the Lion King that we know of, because what they're basically trying to say is that, if the information is correct, is that Scar was supposed to be the rightful heir to the kingdom, but they gave it to the adopted son, which was Mufasa, which then makes it make sense why Scar was like, I'm supposed to be the king of the pride, not you. And like, I don't know,
it doesn't. All right, go ahead.
It's giving me Black Panther vibes, basically.
It doesn't make sense because if it's a matter of heredity, right, and Mufasa is the adopted kid, then Simba being killed or Mufasa being killed shouldn't even matter.
Exactly.
There's a bunch of things when you start to look at that, it doesn't make sense, and the Lion King 1 begins to unravel.
Right.
With how the plot went, with how the whole work of the heredity thing worked. It looks dumb. I'm not going to go see it. I don't care. And it would only bum me out to hear, because I don't know, was James Earl Jones involved in this one?
Oh.
If I hear his voice, I'm like, and that, it's just going to make it that much more of an insult. So I'm good, but y'all have fun. You need to go see this one.
I'm not sure if because they could have just did it better. Y'all could have just made Scar and him as brothers and come like actual brothers to the point where he sit back and Scar like the King and Abel's, if you wanted to do it that way.
I guess. I mean, if you wanted to go a step further, why is it that Scar, if we had to go with that plot, why wasn't Scar the adopted son? And the idea is that Scar is trying to deal Brando from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure his way into the Mufasa family.
I like the King and Abel situation. They should have did that way, because if you make Scar an adopted person and then feels as though he should be king, then it's like...
Well, that would make more sense of the evil, of the wrong, because the whole thing is, and Drew is right, you unravel the story that we already grown to love once you start messing with this stuff. You know, the whole thing is, and this was my problem with actually Black Panther, because what's his name? Your boy. What's your boy's name again? Michael B. Jordan's character.
Killmonger.
Killmonger technically was not a villain. He just had a different perspective of way, like, you know, and I disagree that was clever. I thought that wasn't good, because villains should be villains, especially with the clear cut.
But here's the other twist I did like about it. It's like they made him the villain, so in a way where we looked at him as a villain, but when we actually watched it a couple of times, we started to realize, he ain't no villain. He just misguided or misunderstood, or he does things a different way.
People who, I'm going to throw this out. I don't know if we had this conversation way back when Black Panther came out, but if I'm saying it again. We
probably did.
Killmonger was a villain, y'all. His plan was take all the weapons from Wakanda and launch mad-scale war on everyone. What that would have eventually led to is Wakanda getting attacked from every nation on Earth, including the Avengers. That would have boiled down to Wakanda getting messed up, however many nations getting blown up. People across the globe will know Wakanda exists, which defeats the purpose of what it was keeping it secret to begin with. He would have made more problems than he would have solved. Do we understand Killmonger? Yes. Were his actions that of a hero? No.
No.
No. He's the villain. He's a villain for just reason. He's not a good guy that we just misunderstood. No, he was going to get a lot of people, including the Wakandans, including guys that look like you and me, killed, because that was where that was kind of like aiming towards. So, no, Killmonger was a villain. One of the better villains in the MCU, I'll say. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I understood why he did it. And how Wakanda got down in that movie, what fascinates me to this day, is that when you start to look at Wakanda, it's not necessarily T'Challa. T'Challa's trying to fix a crap situation that his dad got him into. To the point where he's in the afterlife, he's in the realm of the elders talking about, Dad, you left the kid? What the hell? You left that kid there? Dad. And his dad, I know, I messed up. I know, hold on, son. I know, I screwed up. It's like, it was great. Because the flaw comes from the sovereignty. It comes from the monarchy. And that generation of monarch is like, oh, God, I got to fix this. I got to do something to fix this because my cousin's right.
Okay, so I could see what you're saying. The vibration of the decisions and the plans and what he wanted to do would have all been negative. But when you can identify the core of it, I mean, his issues were, this is not a noble place. These are not noble people. I got screwed, as well as you let how many generations of Africans go into, be enslaved and you did nothing. I mean, the thing is, he had so many justifiable angst that he starts becoming less and less of a villain. And usually when you have villains, it's kind of like, well, this is wrong, and I just want power, I just want money. Usually it stays within this pocket.
A villain is vastly better. Okay, this is my barometer for this.
Okay.
All right, and writing, just as an observer of just story and stuff, the better the villain is when you start to have difficulty discerning this is bad versus good. When you relate to the villain more, that's that dangerous slope. That's when you have a potentially good one on. When you're when you find at points like, no, he's hitting, he's actually making a lot of good points. And you then become uncertain as to where they're standing. Who's the villain? Who's the good guy here? It's not cut and dry anymore. So that's what I like about Black Panther.
So you're a fan of Thanos, because then Thanos had a lot of interesting things as well.
Thanos, I've had some debates where it's like it was half of all life. If it was half of all life, including the cows, chickens, your cat, your mama, everybody, then that's kind of like it defeats the purpose of your plan, because you're also taking away half the resources that we live off of, because we live off of cows and chickens, right? His plight was make the universe more spacious. We have to be economical and get rid of half the chaff. And in that regard, I'm thinking you're right. I agree. 50-50. I stand to that rule. When he snapped his fingers, if I got vanished, I'm like, hey, that's how that one went. If I stayed, I'm not mad at him necessarily. Sorry, Thanos was kind of hitting on that one.
Oh, yeah.
But half of all life, I'm like, I know, but he makes sense. It makes sense.
Well, was he referring to half of every living thing, or was he just talking about humanity itself?
I've gone back and forth. Some people said it was. I need to confirm that as well. I'll go back and check. But as far as I know, it was all half of all sentient life in the cosmos. Right, so Earthlings, Martians, all the people that they talk to in Guardians of the Galaxy, half of every one of those populations gone.
Yeah, it was higher life forms. Oh, as they say,
higher life forms, I think. Because again, if you did that and it was all life, that kind of defeats the purpose, because now we're working with half of the cosmic resources that we would have had otherwise living. Right. So aside from that, I was with it.
You were with it, huh? So there's a documentary filmed, Grand Theft Auto, about. So I don't know if it's about, because it's not too clear if it's about Grand Theft Auto or filmed within the game engine of it. But it has a distributor, so hopefully more information will come out. And I know there's a lot of fans on that franchise, so maybe
it's a documentary.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's going to be about the game franchise.
I think it's about the game franchise, not no movie.
Topic. Yeah. Okay. That could be interesting because GTA over it's like however many games. It's had 5 so far.
Probably more than 5.
Maybe more than 5 at this point. Yeah, it's been one of those staple games that has not only affected the gaming industry, but it's also kind of affected culture in itself.
Yeah, because
it has. Yeah, especially when it first came
It's
out, it was people wanted to.
Oh
imitate.
yeah, remember all them articles and all the studies? Oh my God, violence of the youth video games! It sparked this whole thing, this whole debate on culture and gaming and violence and how we ingest that side of media. So I'll check it out. That sounds interesting, actually.
Yeah. So they're going to have Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan in the same.
yeah,
Answer.
Yeah, in the same animation. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, is it animation or it's live
no,
action?
it's live,
Animation.
live action.
Live
Yeah.
action?
No,
They got-
live action. Yeah,
Oh.
This is Lanterns you're talking about, Seven? I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's live action.
Oh, wow.
Lanterns, I'll double check right
Yeah.
now. But
I hope they do right by it. It's easy to mess up.
well,
we
I know that they got 2 dudes because I was curious as to how they were going to go with casting. It's Kyle Chandler
Mm-hmm.
is going to be Hal Jordan, and who's the other guy you just said? The other actor is going to be Jon Stewart.
Yes, I think that's Jon Stewart.
I forgot the actor's name, but he has abnormal eye color.
Wow.
Would you like to know more?
Shots
What?
fired.
Abnormal eye color for a male.
Pierre, is that the guy we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, hold up. Let me look him up. See, I mean, he has eyes. I mean, I don't know if they're abnormal color.
Like, it's just weird because the way he looks, it's like,
What are they like? I mean, he's I think I heard someone complaining that they thought he was too light. My thing is, shut up. Just watch the show. Let's see how he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
It has
sick
nothing
of
to do with
that argument.
And I'm just clowning on his eyes, so it's just.
They're like Hazel. He's got what I guess chicks would call the pretty eyes, quotation marks. That might have been a feature of why he got casted. They might know his eyes are pretty, cast him. Might have been a thing.
Right,
Or might not have been.
Right.
Richard,
He might have been the only cat available.
Brixton Line.
But
Might have just tested the
I think
best.
this
You
would
may
be
have to read.
I don't think we need a long conversation about this one. I just need a thumb up, a thumb down. Are you going to watch Wicked, the film?
Which one is this?
The film
This
version
is like
of
based
Wicked.
off the Broadway play Wicked.
Wicked? Oh, with the Wizard of Oz stuff?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm good. Pass. A hard
Okay.
pass.
All right.
I might just
Y'all
because.
let me know. Y'all, you guys
Yeah,
have fun. I'm cool.
And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, GTA game, the number of games GTA came out with, 16.
16? What?
Yes.
I gotta look up what those all were. I've been a casual GTA fan at most, but geez, I thought we were at 5.
Oh, 16.
Good grief. Alrighty.
The new Superman movie. Any rumors about what this will actually be about?
I have.
I haven't, and I kind of don't want to know. I'm gonna just let James Gunn do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, New York Times on Saturday.
You cut off.
So
Say
you
it
got that
again.
to maybe look forward to.
James Gunn is going to be at New York Comic Con Saturday.
Oh.
So if you guys are in the area, you're gonna be there. You maybe go check him out
Yeah.
and get some insights. But no, the Superman. What was it? Superman Returns or Superman Legacy? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Superman Legacy.
Oh.
Okay.
Right
I've
out.
heard nothing. It looks like
Run out of
it
time.
might be cool.
You want to keep going for a part 2, or we're good for today?
I got some stuff to take care of, but I think we had a good little sesh. We had a good talk.
All right, so
Yeah.
we'll talk about the rest of
And
the
I'll
stuff
try-
next week because I don't say nothing, but we got to talk about Captain America. Trailer looked interesting, but are people really amped about this one? But we'll leave that for next show. Thank you, everyone. You're watching Geekcaster.